We have already discussed about refraction with the help of Huygens principle, that is the refraction of a plane wave, and we have seen how we obtain this Snell's law based on the Huygens principle. Now here we are going to discuss about reflection of plane wave based on the Huygens principle. So we are having a plane wave here, that is AB, and it is incidenting on the mirror MN, making an angle I with the normal at the point of incidence, and the velocity of the wave AB in this medium is v. Let us consider the time taken for the point B to reach the point C as tau, and by the time tau, the one end of the incident wave A will be reflected back and travelled by a distance of v tau itself. So in our scenario we are having a plane wave AB and it is incidenting, making an angle I at the point of incidence, and the time taken for the other end of the plane wave B to reach the point C, that is to incident on the mirror at point C, is tau. Therefore this distance is v tau, and when tau time is covered, the one end of our plane wave, that is the end A, will be reflected back and travelled a distance v tau. So as we told, the end A of the plane wave undergoes reflection, and by the time tau it will cover a distance of v tau, and let us consider this end reaches the point E after the time tau, that is AE here will be the distance v tau. So the wavefront here after reflection can be represented by drawing a sphere of radius v tau, that is, here we will obtain a spherical wave which is having the radius of v tau. Now we draw a tangent of this spherical part at the end E from the point C. So this EC is the tangent to the point E, that is, this is 90 degree. So now if we observe, we are having two triangles here, that is triangle AEC and triangle ABC, and we know that AE here is the reflected ray and it travels a distance of v tau here. So AE is v tau as well as BC is also v tau. So we are having two sides of these two triangles to be v tau. So when we consider both the triangles, we can see that the sides AE and BC in both the triangles are v tau. Now on analyzing this, we are going to find what will be the angle BAC here. So in the triangle ABC, we have to know the angle BAC. For that, we know that this is the plane wave that is incidenting in our mirror, and we know that here the angle A of the plane wave is 90 degree, and one part of this angle is the angle of incidence and the other part is angle of reflection, and therefore the angle EAB, which is the remaining part of this 90 degree, that is, this total is 90 degree here, and one part is the angle of incidence, other part is angle of reflection, and the remaining part can be 90 minus I minus R, that is, the angle EAB here is 90 minus I minus R. So we have analyzed the plane wave here, and we know that the angle A in the plane wave is total of 90 degree. There is angle of incidence and angle of reflection, therefore the remaining is 90 minus I minus R. So we have obtained angle EAB to be 90 minus I minus R, and we know that N here is the normal at the point of incidence. Because of this normal, the angle NAC, that is the angle made by the normal with the plane, will be 90 degree, and we know that the angle NAC constitute of angle NAE, which is the angle of reflection, then comes angle EAB which is 90 minus I minus R, and the remaining angle is angle BAC. So in total we can write that 90 degree is equal to angle NAE, which is R, plus angle EAB, which is 90 minus I minus R, plus angle BAC. That is 90 is equal to R plus 90 minus I minus R plus angle BAC. Therefore from this we can write angle BAC as I itself. Here R and R gets cancelled, and when we take 90 minus I to the other side, we obtain angle BAC as I itself. Thus the one angle of our triangle ABC is obtained as I. So by analyzing the diagram of the incidence of the plane wave, we have obtained that the angle BAC is I, that is this angle is I. Just now we have discussed that and we obtained. Now we are going to analyze what will be the angle ECA in the triangle AEC. So we have two triangles here, AEC and ABC. From that, the first among them, in the triangle ABC, we obtain the one angle, that is angle BAC, to be I, that is angle of incidence. And now we are going to analyze what will be the angle ECA here. So for that, we are drawing a parallel line to AE at C. We know that AE is the reflected side and it is of length V tau, and we are drawing a parallel to that and we are representing it as CE dash. Now the normal here at this point is taken as N dash. So as we know, this AE here makes an angle of R with the normal, that is angle of reflection. So similarly we can say that N dash CE dash will be making an angle R here. We know here we are obtaining an angle of incidence also. Similarly we will be having here angle BCN dash to be the angle of incidence. So by drawing a parallel to this, we are obtaining the same figure here, and therefore we are obtaining the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, that is angle BCN dash is I and angle N dash CE dash is R. And we know that the line EC is a tangent to the arc drawn here. So as this is making 90 degree with the reflected ray here, similarly this EC will be making 90 degree with the parallel ray drawn here. That is, here the total is 90 degree. So ECB can be written as 90 minus I minus R. That is, by now as we have found that this is R and here the angle is I, and the total here, that is ECE dash, is 90 degree. Therefore the small angle, that is ECB, is 90 minus I minus R. Angle ECB is obtained as 90 minus I minus R. So again if we analyze closer here, we have now understood that the normal N dash and the parallel line CE dash is making an angle R, that is angle of reflection, whereas the extended end of B is making an angle I with the N dash, and the line EC is perpendicular to CE dash, that is this altogether is 90 degree. Therefore this side along can be taken as 90 minus I minus R, that is angle ECB here is 90 minus I minus R. Now the side N dash C, that is this normal, is 90 degree. Here there are three angles that constitute the normal. Those are I, 90 minus I minus R, plus angle ECA. So here the angle ECA from this can be written as angle ECA is equal to this total of 90, that is 90, minus these two are 90 minus I minus R plus I. So in total we obtain angle ECA as 90 minus 90 plus r, which makes it as r itself. So the angle ECA becomes r now. So one of the angles in the triangle AEC, that is the angle ECA, is r now. Thus we obtain angle ECA to be r. So here, as we told, we are considering the triangles AEC and triangle ABC, and when we compare these both, we have obtained that sides AE and BC are veto itself, and in the triangle ABC the angle BAC is I, whereas in the triangle AEC the angle ECA is R. So we have the triangles AEC and ABC as we discussed in the figure, and we obtain the relations, that is AE is equal to BC is equal to veto, and also AC and AC are common for both the triangles. Also both these triangles are right angle triangles, that is angle AEC and angle ABC are 90 degree in both the triangles. Now we obtain from this analysis that both these triangles are congruent to each other. Since these are the congruent triangles, we can say that angle I is equal to angle R itself. By obtaining the two sides same for these triangles and one of the angles of the triangle to be same, we can say that both are congruent triangles, and from which we obtain the result that I is R, that is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Thus we obtain the law of reflection, that is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection, by analyzing the reflection of a plane wave on the basis of Huygens principle. Now we are going to analyze the refraction of plane wave through different surfaces. So if we are having an incident plane wave passing through a prism, we can see that the refracted plane wave is inclined and passes in this manner, and when the incident plane wave is passing through a spherical surface and which is a convex lens here, we obtain a refracted plane wave to be spherical itself. Similarly, when the incident plane wave incidents on a mirror, as you can see a concave mirror here, it gets reflected back. Now we will discuss about the Doppler effect, which occurs due to the relative motion of the source and the observer. So if there is a relative motion between the source and the observer, we can experience the Doppler effect. As the source moves away from the observer, the wavefront has to travel longer distance, and thus in the given time the number of wavefronts reaching the observer will be less. So as source moves away from the observer, only less number of wavefronts reaches, that is the frequency here is decreased. Frequency is the number of wavefronts passing for a given time. So as for a given time the number of wavefronts decreases, since the source is moving away from the observer, here the frequency is decreased. So this apparent decrease in the frequency is known as Doppler effect. On the basis of Doppler effect, we can define red shift and blue shift. So when a celestial body moves away from the observer, that is from us who is observing the celestial body, the light from it shifts to a longer wavelength. As we told, when the source is moving away, frequency decreases, that is wavelength increases. So when a celestial body is moving away, the wavelength becomes longer, or the light shifts to a longer wavelength. Thus we are seeing that celestial body in the red region. This is called the red shift. Whereas when a celestial body is moving towards us, we can see an apparent decrease in the wavelength, and this causes blue shift. So when source is moving away, there is a shift to the longer wavelength, and that is called red shift, and when the source is moving towards, there is a shift to the shorter wavelength, and which is referred to as the blue shift. So as we have seen As we have seen, there is an apparent shift in the frequency due to the Doppler effect, and we obtain the shift in the frequency with the expression delta nu divided by nu is equal to v radial by c, where v radial is the velocity with which the, and when the source is moving away from the observer, v radial is positive, and when source is moving towards the observer, v radial is negative. So this is all about the Doppler effect.